Hi everyone. I'm going to show you how to do a rotation around a point using a protractor. So as you can see, we're rotating 120 degrees around point P, and I have this lovely triangle here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the ruler side of my protractor and choose one of the vertices of the triangle. I'm going to do B. I'm just going to connect it to point P. Okay, so step one is to connect to the point. Step two, I'm going to measure 120 degrees counterclockwise around the point. So that means I have to line up the point in the center of my protractor. I line up the line that I just drew down here at the 0 degree mark. Okay, and then I'm going to measure around my protractor to 120 degrees, like that. I just put a little mark here at 120. Now, I need to know how long or where to put point B. So I'm going to measure. I like to use the centimeter part of my protractor, but you can use the inches here, or you can use a ruler. So I'm going to measure how far from point P it is to point B. So I measure that and I see that it's about 7.6 centimeters. It's right here. So I'm going to go over to where I made that mark. I'm going to measure 7.6 centimeters in this direction. And you can draw a line if you'd like, or you can just put the point right where it needs to be, right here. Okay, and I'm going to mark that as B prime so that I know which letter I did and where it went. Okay, so that's my first one. The angle that this makes, if I was to connect that B prime in, should be 120 degrees. Now I'm going to do the same thing for point A. So point A, I'm going to connect to point P, like this. I'm going to use that as my starting point. I'm going to line it up at the 0 degree mark. Okay, and then I'm going to measure 120 degrees, which is right here. Okay, then I'm also going to measure how far it is from point P to point A, and it's like 3.4 centimeters here. So I'm going to measure 3.4 centimeters in the 120 degree angle. So here's 120 degrees, and I go out 3.4. So 3.4, and I'm going to put a dot right here. Okay, I'm going to mark that A prime. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with C. So I'm just going to connect it to point P, like that. Connect. Then I'm going to measure 120 degrees using that as the bottom of my angle. So make sure it's lined up at the 0 degree mark. 120 degrees takes me to here. Okay, and then I'm going to measure how far it is. This is 6.7 centimeters. So I'm going to measure 6.7 centimeters in this direction. Okay, so 6.7 would be here. Okay, I'm going to label that C prime. Now all I have to do is connect all of these. And I'm going to erase these points that I made for my angles, just so I can see my triangle better. So here is my new triangle. 1, 2, and 3. So that's my rotated triangle. Remember the steps. Make a line from P to your vertex. Use that as the bottom of your angle. Measure the degree measurement counterclockwise. Okay, then measure how far it is from P to the point, and that's where you put your new point in the direction of 120 degrees. So you would measure out to that point and then make your dot for your point. Okay, so that's how you do it. Let me know if you have questions.